Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Liberty Warrior Nation. I am your host tonight, Tammy Nation. It is so good to see so many of you in here waiting for the show to start tonight. We got some good things to cover tonight. I was reflecting on what's been going on in this country, and especially lately, and there's been so many lies and more lies put out there, a lot of corruption, and we're well aware of it. But I'm going to remind you of a few things, and I'm reminding you about these few things tonight, and we go over them, we have to remember that even though you and I do our research and understand what's going on, it's really important that we spread that information to others, especially the youth that apparently 18 to 35-year-olds were the ones that voted in Modami for the New York City mayor. So we need to educate them and try to switch their mind up. I'm going to just show you some examples tonight of the corruption, of the lies that continue to this day, whether it's about Trump, whether it's about the Clintons that they're covering up, whether it's about Mamdani and how he got elected. So lots to cover tonight, you guys. We're going to be right back after this short intro. Okay, here we are, you guys, getting ready to start the show, and I see that LW is already in chat. I knew his little fingers couldn't stop working, not even for one show. LW, obviously, you can tell because he's in chat, is doing fairly well, recovering. It hasn't been but 24 hours since his surgery, so I'm proud of him that he didn't end up backstage trying to go on the air because we argued about that today. But LW is up and running as best he can with those fingers, so LW, it's good to see you in the chat tonight and everybody else. As we get started for tonight, like I said, we have all kinds of stuff we need to cover tonight, and maybe, and just maybe, towards the end, I will try to bring up callers the old-fashioned way. It's going to put LW over the edge, but this is going to be the rule. If I drop the link, you have to make sure everything that you have on around you is shut off and no sound, because you're going to get the sound through the studio. Also, you're going to have to show your picture and have your name posted. If I don't see a picture, I am not going to bring you up on board here. So, like, if you want to come on when I drop the link and have a comment or something, that's fine. But like I said, you got to have everything shut off. Otherwise, I've got to drop you out of here, and you have to show your picture to safeguard the channel. I cannot do call-ins when I'm by myself, so I have to do it the old-fashioned way. That's just the way it is. LW has control over that, as well as all the producers. So anyways, exactly, Doc P. No tallywhackers allowed. But I do have my hands full tonight because I'm flying solo here. But like I said, LW's in the chat saying hello and stuff, and I know that makes him very, very happy. Night's not over yet, Tammy, LW said. You know what? I think that you need to just stay away, LW. So let's get started tonight, you guys. I just have also like a couple short videos and one kind of article that I want to show you, but it's mostly going to be talking, and I want to get your information and what you feel about these things we're going to talk about in the chat as well, because I would really like to put your comments up on here. So be patient with me, because I'm going to be trying to read the comments while I'm talking to you, because I do love your participation in the show as well. So the first thing that we are going to cover tonight, and this was breaking today's like more stuff. It's been going on for a couple days, but this is breaking, and it's the Clintons corruption files. So Pam Bondi and Kash Patel did drop what they are calling the Clinton corruption files, and these documents expose the pay-to-play cover-up Obama's DOJ tried to bury in 2015. Now, we talked about that, didn't we? For years, and we've been called conspiracy theorists, but once again, it's the lies that were covered up by the ex-president's DOJ. So what happened is they dropped a massive amount of documents to Congress exposing the Clinton Foundation's dark web of pay-to-play corruption. Now, the Clinton corruption files, and as investigators, as I said, have dubbed them. What do they reveal? Well, they reveal how Bill and Hillary Clinton's charity raked in millions from foreign governments, corrupt insiders, and corporate insiders, and even the U.S. defense contractors, all seeking to buy influence while Hillary served as Secretary of State. So this goes back to 2015. So this corruption, oh boy, it is not just recent. This goes a lot hard and it goes deep, and there's a lot to it. So these documents that they submitted are now in the hands of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and they confirm what we've all thought all along, that the Clinton machine sold access to the highest bidder, while the Obama-era Justice Department worked overtime to cover it up. According to these whistleblowers, this trove of evidence was deliberately kept from federal prosecutors during a 2015 corruption probe by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Little Rock, Arkansas, before the Obama DOJ swooped in and ordered the case shut down. So just in this little brief statement that I've read, all true, all verified, what does that mean to you? That means treason. That means an underhanded government. So this is just one example of the things that have been hidden and that we've been lied to. Also, the files said it best, there was a coordinated effort to obstruct legitimate inquiries into the foundation by blocking real investigation by line-level FBI agents and DOJ field prosecutors, and keeping them from following the money. Now, haven't we for years on this show, and haven't you guys said, you have to follow the money? When you follow the money, you're going to find out who's getting paid and to shut up, to cover things up, and all the underhandedness that's been going on. So this pattern of obstruction does mirror exactly what President Trump and his allies have warned about for years, that the deep state is going to protect the Democrats at all cost while weaponizing the system against them. We've seen that over and over again, what they've done to President Trump and others. So this is the good news, and hopefully not things are redacted like they have been in the past, that Bondi and Patel are expected to release these files to the public by the end of the week, pending the protection of key whistleblower identities. Now, this is the thing that gives me pause and concern. When they say pending the protection of key whistleblowers' identities, we all know about the Epstein files. That was their big reason for not releasing the Epstein files, which that has resurfaced its ugly face. And we're going to talk to that at the back end of the show about recent developments with that. But I understand, and you understand, and we're fair about wanting to protect victims or wanting to protect the whistleblowers. But I don't want that to be another excuse to not release these files, right? So there's that hesitation that we get this momentum forward going, that we're going to find out information that we've been waiting to find out. But then we got to have that little pause in there, because if they're going to worried about protecting the whistleblowers, which I understand, that can be an excuse not to release them. So we got to keep our eyes peeled for that to come tonight, or this by the end of this week. Let's make sure that we keep track of it. So not only do the files reportedly expose the Clinton Foundation's pay-to-play operations, but listen to this, it also ties in new evidence from Jack Smith's Arctic Frost investigation showing alarming contact between Smith, the former FBI Director Christopher Wray, and top DOJ officials during their crusade against Trump. Now, we've heard about Arctic Frost. We've talked about Arctic Frost on this channel as well. It's all coming up. So we're hoping that the truth is finally coming true with this, with Clinton's going to have to pay for what they've done to this country. You think about the lives that have been affected through all these lies, and we're just starting to get into some of these lies. The lives that have been affected, the money that it's cost us, the U.S. taxpayer, while our own people are hungry, are homeless. They've shut down mental institutions to not be able to treat these poor people that need help, the veterans. And, I did see yesterday that Doug Collins from Georgia, who's the head of the Veterans Affairs, in covering that, he, at the ceremony that they had for yesterday for the veterans, he did say there's a lot moving and a lot changing to help out the veterans, which made me very happy. We all, I think, love and remember Doug Collins, and when when he was in Congress, how he fought tooth and nail and was a great man. And, we were concerned because he stepped aside and we lost him. He had teeth in the game. He was a great, great proponent of the truth in what was going on against Trump. We lost Matt Gaetz as well. But the good news is Doug Collins is really fighting the good fight for the veterans. Mike, hello. This is Mike is actually at home recovering from surgery, but he's in chat here and there, so he's doing okay. He just can't be on the show for a little while, so we'll definitely keep you posted. Also, we need Brunson case opened and act upon. Awaken Trillium, I keep hearing different things about that. That at first it was shut down, then it was reopened, and then there was nothing coming of it. That's another thing that is causing confusion amongst people. It's not like anything comes to the forefront and we get answers. It seems like we're just playing this roller coaster and this vicious circle of, we move forward with something and then it gets stepped back because there's so much going on with judges in our court systems that are underhanded and dirty. And I'm not just saying it's one side, but they're trying to block and prohibit so many things so they don't lose power with everything. And that's what's driving me absolutely crazy. And I'm sure you guys as well. There is not a lot of transparency that's coming other than through the government right now, through President Trump's administration. And you know what? We still aren't very happy with a lot of the people in the administration. And that's hard to say. We've been disappointed in Pam Bondi, even though the president has been saying she's been doing a good job. We've been upset with Kash Patel, even Dan Bongino. We know that Dan Bongino has been a proponent of exposing everything in the truth. We know how hard he hit the airwaves when he had his radio show talking about we need complete transparency about the Epstein files. And then all of a sudden that all backpedaled. So it's very confusing. So the next thing I want to talk about as well is the story of Benghazi, because this is some key points about that we can't forget about Hillary and the Clinton Foundation and Hillary and Bill as well. She shouldn't have immunity for this. We have to remember that she armed our enemies and 4 Americans died because of Benghazi. And never forget what she did. It was her actions that did this. She secretly helped funnel U.S.-made Stinger missiles to terrorists in Libya without congressional approval or oversight. So why all the left right now is complaining about Trump doing the things he's doing with ICE and stuff, saying that it's not going through Congress and he's being a dictator and doing what he wants to do. He's running, it's a regime. Let's not forget that she helped funnel those missiles to terrorists in Libya. She did not get congressional approval or oversight for that. The deal was also brokered through Ambassador Chris Stevens and private arms dealer Mark Turi. But some of those missiles, if you remember, ended up in Afghanistan where they were used against our own troops. The Chinook helicopter was hit by one of those missiles on July 25th of 2012. It didn't explode only because the Taliban fighter forgot to arm it. When the missile was recovered, its serial number traced straight back to a CIA cache in Qatar. That's when Obama and Hillary went into full panic mode. They sent Ambassador Stevens to Benghazi to retrieve the rest, a do-or-die mission to clean up their mess. So this is what this woman did, as then, was the wife of a president and Secretary of State. She has been in our government for a very long time, and this is what she did. Our teams, our rescue teams, remember, were ordered to stand down while the Americans were left to die. So it really wasn't the CIA that armed our enemies. It was Hillary's State Department. General Petraeus, remember him? He had refused to approve it, warning that those missiles could be used to shoot down civilian planes. And when he refused to lie for Obama's YouTube video cover story, remember that cover story Obama put out there? They destroyed his career. And also don't forget, Hillary's private email server wasn't for convenience. It was a digital shredder to erase all that evidence. So we've got a couple big things here that we have been lied to about. And what do you guys think about this? Do you think that Oh, Rosemary, thank you for reminding us. Rosemary, if you're still here, let me know how that vote goes tonight to whether they're going to keep the government shut down or open. I heard that Hakeem Jeffries came out and said that they're not going to reopen it no matter what because they're playing hardball basically because they say that the Republicans don't want to feed children and don't want to worry about health care and blah, 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 blah. I mean, I listened to his little presentation today and it made me so sick because it was nothing full of lies. Once again, more lies, propaganda, half-truths. And we have to remember, like I said, these kids and these young people that are active now, paying attention to what's going on, they don't dive as deep as we dive. So when they hear that from somebody, they believe it, unfortunately. And it's our job to educate them and help them. Obama and Hillary equated ISIS. Remember that, United We Stand? We remember ISIS, right? I had a little cough there. So, you guys, it is nasty. So if you guys can let me know in chat if they do that vote and what it is, then let me know because I think it was supposed to start at 4 o'clock, but I don't think it's going to end up opening back up. The left, everything that they've come out and said, they're not doing it. So, and then continue a little bit about this for Benghazi. And this is just a reminder. These are just some kind of points that we're able to share with other people. We have to start sharing this information and conversation with people. We can't give up on them because I am very concerned with Mom Donnie voted in as mayor of New York for the 18 to 35-year-olds. Midterms aren't that far away. I mean, this is really a seriously war. It's a war. So we have to educate them as best that we can. Let me see. Obama used Bowie Bergdahl as the cover story to hide the real reason behind that deal. It was a cover-up. It was treason. So let's not forget 4 Americans died over Benghazi. Now, what's a few other things that they've lied about? Government, politicians, people in power. They lied about the USS Liberty, remember? It was an Israeli Air Force and Navy, June 8th, 1967, during the 6 days of war. It killed 34 Americans and crew members, and then it wounded over 171 others. Nobody's paid the price for that yet, the lies that be covered up. You start going through some of this stuff in history, you guys, it gets to be infuriating. It just is infuriating. JFK, we remember, obviously, what happened to JFK. A few of the theories and reasons that have come out since then of why they did what they did to him is because, if you remember correctly, he tried to shut down the CIA. He also pressured AIPAC to register as a foreign agent. How about, that's 1963, I think it was. So think about this. We've heard about AIPAC recently. So this is something that has been going on since John F. Kennedy tried to press them to register as a foreign agent. That's what we've heard people trying to do and wanting to do with AIPAC now. We've heard about the tons of money and the tons of corruption that goes on in AIPAC. It is to protect foreign people and policies. It is not about the US of A at all. So we've heard a lot about that. Also, JFK demanded to inspect Israel's nukes. And you know, you're not allowed to talk about Israel right now in a negative way, any way, shape, or form. We know what just happened in current events with things. We know that Bibi is still accused of many different things. President Trump did come out, though, and appeal to the president of Israel to excuse and pardon Bibi, which that was a surprising move to me. So did it just pass outlandish? Was that enough? So we'll keep that up here. So basically, AIPAC we've heard about from 1964 all the way to 2025, and it's still an issue. And that is corruption. That is money that is not given to the American people. Think of how many years that is. That's just another lie we've been told. Another way we've been taking it in the back end from government and these corrupted governmental, places they use in different corporations and names that they come in the lieu of helping us or anything like that. They also challenged the Federal Reserve. He did, JFK. The Federal Reserve, we heard a lot about that in recent days as well. And then began the Vietnam withdrawal. So these are some things that JFK was trying to take care of, and we know what happened to him. Also, the moon landing, which is a whole nother show. But briefly, what it is, plenty of videos are out there about reenacting it using some kind of stage and set in Arizona. So, we've heard the different astronauts out there, like Buzz Aldrin saying we never went there. But like I said, that's for another show. But the moon landing isn't something that is clean and clear. So, Erica, okay, so the shutdown is over. Well, let's see. That is good. Now we have to see what's in it. So if the shutdown is over and it's reopening, let's see what really was in the deal, because we talked about it the other night with what was in that deal, and it was a clean CR. At least that's what Mike Johnson said. It was a clean CR, but because they had the different changes in it, no matter if there's any one change, they have to go through the process they're going now. So that means if it passes, they want it on Trump's desk as soon as possible. They were hoping that it would happen tonight. So here we go. That could very well happen tonight, where all this is over with. Also, let's not forget about 9/11. Do you know there's a lot of untruths about there with that? There's also concerns with Mamdani, who's a Muslim, who is now going to be the incoming mayor of New York. It's like, did people forget about 9/11 and what happened? COVID, that's the more recent one that we were lied to. Look at all the stuff that is coming out about COVID now. In the vaccine, we were shut up, we were censored. You all know that. Our loved ones lost their lives from it, from the protocol. 2020 lies. Now we've got all this information coming out as well, the fraud about the 2020 election. There's questions about the ballots. There's 400,000 of them sitting somewhere that are bad, that they need to bring out, that they haven't brought out yet. How many people actually voted multiple times? And I say that even with the recent elections that we had locally, even in my state, if our voting system isn't fixed, how can we trust that the people that got elected were really elected? So, okay, united we stand. There we go. Yes, so we're going to talk about Mamdani in a bit. I can't believe that he's the incoming mayor. I just can't believe, because of the things he said he's done. But I do have a quick little video about that. Okay, also all the lies about Trump, which leads to the new Epstein connections. So we know that they tried to nail Trump to the wall, and many times they've impeached him, many times, nothing stuck. But now, all of a sudden, the Dems are bringing up Trump and Epstein again. So, what's going on with that? The House Oversight Committee for the Democrats released emails from Jeffrey Epstein that mentioned President Trump. So you guys got to take this with a grain of salt. So the emails were between Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. The House Oversight Democrats Committee subpoenaed the emails from Epstein estate earlier this year. And they were released hours before, listen to this, it's well planned out, the Arizona Democratic Republican-elect Adelita, I can't even say this last name, Grijalva, Grijalva, will be officially sworn into Congress. She's expected to then provide a decisive vote on the bipartisan petition to force a vote to release the Epstein files. So why all of a sudden do they want these Epstein files released? Another distraction? Because the thing is, I don't think the Dems are going to stop at anything. We've seen, if they have all this information on Trump, we've said that many shows ago, they would have released it back then when they were trying to take Trump down. But now the fire is hot and the little branding irons coming their way, and they're going to do anything they can to distract, derail, and everything else. So none of these emails were sent or received by Trump at all, and mostly were from before he became president. Trump has not been accused of any criminal wrongdoing in connection with Epstein or Maxwell. We know that. So these emails were dated April 2nd, 2011. Epstein wrote to Maxwell, "I want you to realize that the dog hasn't barked," is Trump. So the title of the show is The Dog That Didn't Bark, Trump. What it is they're saying that Trump knew what was going on and allowed it, but he didn't say anything because they were friendly. A dog doesn't bark at someone when they recognize them. The dog only barks at strangers. So that's the implication that the Dems and Epstein and Maxwell want to say, that Trump was a player in all this and he kept his mouth shut. So, of course, it's redacted. A little spot after that was redacted, and it said, spent at my house with him. So whoever said, I want you to realize, Epstein wrote to Maxwell, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Then there's a redaction, which is a name, spent hours at my house with him, implying that there was a victim with Trump that spent hours in the house with them. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief said, I'm 75% there. So Maxwell was responding to this by saying, I've been thinking about that. So the email's context is unclear. They're implicating in this email that Trump hasn't said anything because he's a part of it. But Maxwell told Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche in an interview earlier this year that she never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way, if you guys remember. She never recalled seeing Trump at Epstein's house. She said she witnessed them together in social settings, and we've all seen the pictures with social settings at parties early on and whatnot. The president has never been appropriate with anybody, Maxwell said. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects. So he's already been exonerated of getting guilt by Maxwell. In January 2019, an email between Epstein and Wolf, which was during Trump's first term about 7 months before Epstein died in prison, the convicted sex offender apparently wrote about Trump's claim that he asked Epstein to resign his membership at Mar-a-Lago, and we all remember about that. Epstein wrote that Trump asked me to resign. Never a member ever, of course. He knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop. So basically, they're bringing up this, saying in hindsight, all this time later. So basically, Epstein went on to talk about in an email dated December 15th, 2015. He said, Wolf reportedly wrote to Epstein, I hear CNN planning to ask Trump tonight about his relationship with you, either on air or in the scrum afterwards. And Epstein responded, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? So Wolf replied, I think you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. You can hang him in a way that potentially generates a positive benefit for you, or if it really looks like he could win, you could save him, generating a debt. Of course, it is possible that when asked, he'll say Jeffrey's a great guy and he's gotten a raw deal and is a victim of political correctness, which is to be outlawed in a Trump regime. So basically, instead of trying to just let things go naturally and tell the truth, where they're trying to weasel a way to get Trump involved and to put things on Trump that aren't true. So this is the Dems' last ditch to try to bring Trump into Epstein. And also, you have to remember that the Dems intentionally redacted the victim's name in today's Epstein email. And the reason they did is because the victim referenced in the email already has cleared President Trump of any wrongdoing in a sworn deposition. So basically, the Dems and their media allies are trying to get him again. They have no shame. They have no morals. They have no values. They have no honor. And basically, they should sue. Trump should sue. So Donald Trump did reply to this. Okay, this is what Donald Trump had to say on Truth Social. He said, the Democrats are trying to bring up the Jeffrey Epstein hoax again because they'll do anything at all to deflect how badly they've done on the shutdown and so many other subjects. Only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into that trap. The Democrats cost our country $1.5 trillion with their recent antics of viciously closing our country while at the same time putting many at risk. and they should pay a fair price. There should be no directions to Epstein or anything else, and the Republicans involved should be focused on only opening up our country and fixing the massive damage caused by the Democrats. So that is it in a little nutshell of what they're doing now about Trump and the Epstein files. So what do you guys think about this? And while you guys type in there so I can read some of your comments, and some of your comments I want to hear about the Clintons and what you think, so I can put them up on the screen as well. And I'm going to ask you guys to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. When we're done with the show, maybe you can share it out, because that really helps us out as we try to grow the channel and build up Facebook again. Also, don't forget that we are going to have a silver giveaway in December. And if you guys want to be a part of it, anybody who donates to the show, you are entered into that drawing for silver coins. And unfortunately, tonight, those of you that have donated or are donating, I can't see that you've donated. But if you do, you can put your name in chat and I can thank you for it. But we appreciate all of it. We appreciate you being here, you sharing the show out. I know a lot of you do, subscribing and helping us out, because we've been trying to climb back for a few years now. So let's see what you guys have to say. Is anybody talking about what your opinion is about the things that we've talked about so far tonight? Let's see. What's this say? Another fact. Palestine and the Olympic team murdered in 1974. Fact forgotten. You know what, Saltwater Cowboy? There are so many things that are going on that we have forgotten or we've been lied to about, that we just kind of gave up on, and it's really sad. And I for one, am fed up. That's the reason for the show tonight, is because the Epstein stuff being brought up, you guys, again, is just nauseating. The person that, like I said, that they redacted is the one that has already cleared him by a sworn testimony. So it's nauseating to me. I'm just so fed up. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just so fed up about all the lies and trying to keep track of anything. It's just insanity to me. So the next thing I want to talk about is the chemtrails, the lies about the lines in our skies. Remember, we were told they were nothing. Remember, we told that we were crazy. So Wayne Root came out and talked about the chemtrails and the chemicals in the sky. And he's asking the hard questions of our leaders. So before I read what he has to say, I want to play just a quick little video. And it's of a pilot and what he has to say. And then I'm going to read you the Wikipedia definition, explanation of it. And then those are the only two things I have on it. And then we're going to talk about it, because this is part of the deception that is out there. It depends on where you go, the answers that you're going to get. Because unfortunately, if you just go to one place, that's all you're going to get. You're not going to get the right answer. You have to look around. And these are two examples right here. So let me go to the first video. I don't know why you can't hear me, Becky Justice. Can everybody hear me? I think everybody can pretty much hear me. Yeah. I'm glad that you're pretty pissed too, Rhonda. And thank you, White Rabbit. You know, it's just chaotic, and I'm just fed up. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So let's go to the video. Okay. LW said my audio's good. Okay. Here we go. Let me see. Hit play. Can you guys hear that? I don't know why it's not. It was loud and fine before. So basically, okay, so what he's saying, I don't know why it's not, you can't hear it. Sorry about that. But what he's basically saying is it's not chemicals, and he's being all boogie-oogie about it, saying that it's conspiracy theory. Now, this is a pilot, so of course people are going to go to a pilot, and they're going to ask them. But if you only go to one pilot, you're going to get that answer. If you go to another pilot, you may get another answer. Because remember, a lot of people are hiding stuff. A lot of people are covering up stuff. So then you can go to here. And we're going to go to Wikipedia about chemtrails. And it's just something to look at and to read. So, it talks about the chemtrail conspiracy theory. It says it's erroneous belief that long-lasting condensation trails left in the sky by high-flying aircraft are actually chemtrails consisting of chemical or biological agents sprayed for nefarious purposes undisclosed to the general public. Believers in this conspiracy theory say that while normal chemtrails dissipate relatively quickly, contrails that linger must contain additional substances. So see how they are calling us conspiracy theories and chemtrails, and it's not true. So it depends on where you go. This is not going to give you the evidence that there is actually something going on being sprayed into our skies at all. But we know that there would be people on the internet that were paid to do that. We know that there are chemicals being put in the sky, that there are lines. So, see right here, Carlene, thank you. Whistleblowers from the Air Force have come out and admitted to spraying the skies with the poison. So Wayne Allen Root is who we were talking about. He says that we see it, we all know it's happening, and we're all concerned. And I agree with him. He said we want President Trump and RFK Jr. to address this crisis and then ban the chemtrails in our skies. This just came out with him today. He actually asked, and like I said, he's asking the hard questions of RFK Jr. and the president. He said, where is RFK Jr.? That he has publicly endorsed the chemtrails story. So it's not conspiracy. It is actually endorsed by RFK Jr. So he said he's endorsed that. He said also last May, he told Dr. Phil that he believes chemtrails are toxic chemicals being sprayed on the American people by DARPA. Remember DARPA? That was supposedly a conspiracy theory too. A division of the Defense Department. Thank you. He is the first politician or high-ranking government official to ever acknowledge their existence. And yes, thank you for that reminder. Sinkin99, Marjorie Taylor Greene is coming out with a bill to stop the spraying. So, it matters where you go for your information. You have to seek, you have to search. But it is so hard and it's so exhausting because just with the few topics that I've talked about tonight, it is, oh no. LW entered the studio. You're not coming on here. But he's got the buttons. He can push it if he wants to. So, we all know it's happening. We all see it in our skies. So he's saying, why isn't RFK Jr. doing more than talking about chemtrails? He said talk is cheap. He should be stopping the spraying out of our skies with toxic chemicals and then permanently banning them. He was talking about how his hometown in Las Vegas has the heaviest chemtrails, and he's got the times that he sees them. And, really, these are the questions that we need answers to. Who is doing this? I know that you guys will agree with this. Who is ordering it? How about this? Who is paying for it? And who wants citizens breathing in toxic chemicals every day, and why? Why doesn't the mainstream media report on it? He said, if I'm wrong, then these planes are spraying. What are they spraying and why are they spraying it? So I agree with Wayne Allen Root. I think that we should have full transparency on all of that. There's no reason for them to hide it from us, and we need answers. So LW, I'm going to bring you in. Against my better judgment. I'm not sure how he's going to sound, you guys. Here we go. Are you there?
Hello.
Hey, you're there. All right. How are you? I knew you couldn't resist. You're such a bad man.
Well, uh, surgery went well. I just have like a head cold because my nose is so stuffy. It's kind of like
uh,
stuffy nose, but you can't blow it. And I have these plastic braces in my nose until Wednesday, so they got to stay until Wednesday. Otherwise, I went to town today. I'm up working and doing stuff. Energy's good, no pain. Just kind of like a stuffy nose.
I'm really surprised that you're in this good a shape. I really can't believe it. I'm shocked. I really am. I think it's your stubbornness. It's the
Well,
cowboy in you.
that and I had a lot of people praying for me, and I felt everyone's prayers.
Oh, good, good, good. That's awesome. Can you guys
I'm
hear him okay?
here to offer my services, Tammy.
Well, I didn't want you getting all fired up and worked up because some of the stuff is really annoying, as you know, and aggravating. And, it sets a fire in your belly. And, you're not supposed to be getting riled up. And this
Well, it's not
stuff,
a blood pressure thing. I'm not worried about my blood pressure. So I did watch Fox and Friends for the first time in years this morning. And did you guys know that there is another Democratic socialist who is ahead of the count as of this morning? I didn't follow up on it in Seattle. So there is another communist getting ready to be voted in as mayor of Seattle, and she's not the only one. She is one of many that they are planning on uh, planting in these cities all across the United States. That did get me fired up this morning. But I also want to tell you, offering my services, if you would like, I can when you tell me to, when you text me, I'll just sit in the back here and I'll get off stage here in a minute. But you tell me to turn the phone lines on, I'll turn them on, and I can bring people in for you.
okay.
If you would like that to happen tonight, so that there's no stuff going on with the software. Anyway, I could be in the background here and run the phone line for you.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I would like that. Yeah. I don't have to see anything, right? You'll just tell me and then they'll show up and I can talk.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Well, wait, there's some people in here that are saying good stuff about you and stuff. So, they're asking questions. I don't know. Yeah, you're getting, they will vote. Okay, so everybody's wishing you well, asking questions, but he's in an upright position. I don't know how long he's going to be able to be in an upright, but it's good to hear you and stuff, and it's good to know that you are. Because I'm serious, I was worried about that. So I'm glad that you're
Five.
doing okay, but it is still a road ahead for you.
Yeah, I'm 95%. It's just no pain. I'm not even on the narcotics anymore. I was on narcotics for the first, I don't know, 18 hours, but I stopped taking those too. So there's no pain. It's just like a stuffy nose, and it drives me crazy.
Okay, well that's good to know. Well, okay, so I'm going to talk about Mom Donnie. If you want to just sit there, you want to stay on the screen.
I'm gonna stay in the background here. I'm gonna mute my mic, and then you just let me know when you want me to turn the phone lines on.
Okay, LW, thanks for stopping in and doing this for us. We appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
Good deal. Good deal, good deal. Okay, so that's the next thing that we're going to do here, you guys, is we are going to talk about Mon Donnie. And it's so sweet. See, you guys, he can't stand being away from his show. That's so sweet. All right, so Mon Donnie. Now, he's announced plans to speak with President Trump before taking office. He's calling the relationship critical to the success of the city. Now, that's a big, big change, right? Because what we heard the other day about he's telling President Trump that he needs to turn the volume up. And President Trump came out and told him, that's a very dangerous statement for you to tell me. And he said he has to be a little bit more respectful to the state of Washington and D.C. and the president and the administration and the country in general. He said, but Trump, he's always given people chances. That's the one good thing about him. Yeah, and you know what, Sinkin? You're probably right. He does want money. But Trump said he wants that city to succeed. Trump loves New York. Trump did all kinds of building in New York. He said, I think he should reach out to us because I'm here. Well, apparently Mom Donnie plans on doing that. So he's revealed that he plans to speak with Donald Trump before taking office in January, proclaiming his relationship with the White House is critical to the success of the city. Absolutely. He said that you have to remember also, Mom Donnie is a self-described democratic socialist. He stated that he will be proactive in his attempts to dissuade the Trump administration from sending ICE agents or the National Guard to the city. We're really not happy about that. He said, I'll be reaching out to the White House as we prepare to actually take office because it is a relationship that's going to be critical to the success of the city. He went on to state that he is open to working with President Trump to lower the cost of living despite philosophical differences. He said if President Trump wants to talk about the cost of living or delivering cheaper groceries like he ran on in 2024, I'm here to have that conversation. He said, I'm here to work for the benefit of everyone that calls the city home. And whatever there is a possibility for working together toward that end, I'm ready. And if Trump's policies are to the expense of the New Yorkers, I'm going to fight. So we know that Trump is not going to have policies that's going to cost New Yorkers anything. Donnie, some of his stuff that he wants to do, he wants to defund the police. We talked about that the other night. He wants to have social workers take in the gap for those calls instead of police. He is Muslim, and you can look up and know their beliefs. He wants free bus service in that city. He wants universal child care. And he wants a freeze on the rent increases for the city's 1 million rent-regulated apartments. But we did talk about as well, that's going to affect the landlords who have been hit hard by inflation and everything. But remember, Mom Donnie, we said the other night, he is ready to take over what he calls bad landlords' properties on day one in office, which that is subject to his discretion. He also wants to set up a pilot program for city-run groceries. How many of you would love to have city-run groceries? I mean, think about what that means. They can control what's in the grocery. They can control what you buy, how much you buy. Many are saying that if he were to do that, it's going to return us to the bread lines of the old Soviet Union. And he wants to raise taxes on the rich. So most people would like, yeah, raise taxes on the rich. Do more of that, taxes on the rich. But my question is, if he does that, who is going to stay in New York? Who in their right mind would stay in New York City if their taxes are raised, which are already crazy? What business is going to want to stay? The only people to me that will be in New York City are going to be the ones that want the freebies. They'll be moving on in to get all the freebies. I really think that it's going to become like Gotham. I really think that you got to think about who's going to pay the bills to keep the city clean, to keep it running. Because if nobody's paying for things, how are things going to get paid? It's like an oxymoron. And if you think about it, if you like that movie, As to Russia or China, united we stand. I know. This is what people aren't thinking ahead, and this is what's so concerning, because there are 18 to 35-year-olds that think this is a great idea, that are so brainwashed by these policies. It is unbelievable. The youth has been so brainwashed. The illegals obviously want to stay. My question is, when has this ever worked? Where has this ever worked? I don't think it has, because if this did work, these kind of policies, they would have happened by now in other cities. It's absolutely nutballs to me. So as we're talking about this, I'm going to go ahead and ask LW to open up the call lines. If you guys have something you want to talk about, if you want to just say hi to LW, go ahead and call. The number is, what was it? It's 317-1776. Let me look up the number. I can't remember. I think it's 620-377-1776. Let me look and make sure. And the mods will probably drop it in there too. So it's 620-317-1776. 1776. I'm going to type it in the chat so you guys, if you do want to call in, you can before we wrap this up for tonight. 7317-1776. There we go. There you go. If you guys want to call and say hi, whatever you want to do, he's back there waiting for the calls. But I mean, I want to know what you guys think about this with Mamdani. I mean, some people are saying they don't think he's going to make it. He's not actually going to be, sworn in. It's not going to happen. But I don't know. I think I don't know about that. There's just so many things that are crazy. Now, tonight, as well as finding that the government is going to open back up again, I'm pretty surprised about that. I'm very surprised because so many of them, like I said earlier in the show, said they weren't going to vote for it to open. So Hilariso says, Mamdani, a new pronunciation, madman dummy. I like that. And it hasn't ever worked, Outlandish Patriot. None of this, I mean, this is not the American way. This is not God first, Jesus first. I mean, his beliefs and what the Muslims do. I mean, that is their country. They do what they want to do. But when you have a country of the USA and people are actually burning flags, and we've got Dearborn, Michigan, and other cities that have the call to prayer 5 times a day, that is not the United States of America at all. Let me see. Yeah, I got the I don't know. Let me see. Media assets, the number. Let me see if I can find the number. Let me see. I pulled it up. Yep. It's not working, probably because I have my own OBS running. So watch. I'm going to do a little something real quick, you guys. Just give me a second and see if that does it. Nope. I see it in there, LW, but when I go to pull it up, myself, but then when I add myself, here's the number. I'm going to go off screen a second. Look at the number. I think I have to be added in through your side, LW, for that to show up for me. Because otherwise, I shut my OBS off and it's still not doing it when I click on it. So anyhow, yes, and I'm out of popcorn too, you guys. I mean, I'm so over it. I just really want to get this country moving forward and, starting to help straighten some of these kids out. We look at what happens to people that speak their mind and who put America first and want to educate our children. Look what happened to Charlie. We can't forget about that, you guys. It's the same thing years later. Like I said, from John F. Kennedy and on, the different way that the government has assassinated politically so many people. We hear the stories from Marjorie Taylor Greene and others about, the different trips that these new congressmen take. And, they get told you have to support this and this or you don't get any money. And if they fight it, then they get thrown out because they don't get any money supported. It's just when you look at the wide array of corruption all across so many different avenues, it gets exhausting. It's tiring. I'm not kidding you guys. I had 50 different email link texts for the show tonight. I had to stop looking because so much stuff came in and it was so overwhelming that I was losing my mind. I had to focus and break down to a few little subjects because I'll run the phones and I'm going back to bed. Well, I'm almost done out of here. So if you guys want to go ahead and call, try to call. And then he needs to get back to bed. If not, if you don't call in the next minute or two, let's let LW get some rest and go back to bed because I'm about done with the show anyhow. But like I said, you guys, even though we know what we know, it is so deep and it is so complicated, each and everything. Trying to simplify it for those that don't get it is the real challenge that we're facing. Because like I said, not everybody digs as deeply as us, but that doesn't mean we give up on them or we get mad at them because they don't understand. We have to be open to having these conversations and helping people understand it in a simple way. Because nobody, even at the topic, any topic I picked tonight, that Mandani, you can go down these rabbit holes with him and it's not good. It's not good. And then you have to ask yourself, how did he really get elected? Because then you got to go down the road of our voting system is still a mess. There's still controversy about our voting system. You can't say, guess what? People wanted them in, so they voted them in, and it was a legit thing. And you know what, Matt? It's true. There's a lot of people that pretend they know all the answers, and we don't. As much as we dig and as much as we look, we don't know 100% the answers because guess what? We aren't the people directly involved. We only get to see and know what is put out there or what is visually allowed. There's so much stuff that is kept from us. It's incredible. And all I know is United States citizens are fed up with being taken advantage of financially, paying for people all across the world for these crazy, crazy different things. Okay, I got a caller. Go ahead, bring them in, LW. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. And the bill did pass. The final count was 222 to 209. Trump is going to sign it tonight. Okay, it's John. I can't hear anything, and I don't see anything. So, Trump is going to sign the bill tonight, so that's pretty good. So, we'll have to see what's going on. I don't have anything on here, LW, about a caller. Do I have to add you back to the stage? I know, dang it. I don't know how to work. I'm just sitting here like I normally do. But that's good. Yes, also, owners of the... Okay, try it again. Go ahead. I'm just sitting here. My hands are off. Oh, there. Let's unmute it. Or I won't touch anything. I'm not supposed to touch anything. Go ahead, LW. Go ahead. But yes, and you know what, Halloween, that's why I think that's why Mom Donnie won. I believe that in part too, but the kids don't know what they are voting in. That's why I think it's really important. If it was a legit election, if it was real, that's why I say it's so important to educate these kids, because think about what they've been taught through in their colleges. Think about with the trans stuff. Think about they're anti-American. They think it's okay to burn the American flag and everything else. Think about what mindset these people must be in, these young kids, to be able to vote that in. Now, the legals, that goes without saying. We know why they voted that in. But what is the end game for this? Well, yeah, is a bit more than kids. More than kids, young adults, yeah. So we have to figure that out and see. What do they think that they are going to get from Mandani? What do they think? That's what I want to know. I don't understand it. Okay, go ahead, LW. If he's back, let's see if we can hear anything. Hello? Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Oh, I hear something. John?
Hey, Tammy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. It's a little low, maybe a little louder. Maybe talk a little louder.
Okay, I'll be loud.
There you go. What you got for me, John?
Well, we're watching this play out, and we've had this choice in front of America for a long time. And the entire process of everything that happened under the Great Society legislation, which opened up the door to robbing Social Security, to create Medicare, Medicaid, welfare, and all the social programs that are total failures. They've done nothing but deplete the wealth of the country. So now you have a president that wants to turn that back. If you're capable and able to work, go to work. If you need assistance, here are the programs we wish to create. The Democrats tonight made it all about the Affordable Care Act. Well, as a member of the Tea Party, when we were in Washington and being pushed aside by Nancy Pelosi as she walked in because she knew she had Democrat control of the House, and they had control of the Senate, and they could shove that down the American people's throat. We told Americans prior to it happening that everything about their health care would be mandated and handed over to the powerful insurance companies. So what have the insurance companies done? They tell us what doctor we can see. They tell us what medication we can have. They tell us what procedure our doctor is allowed to get. Oh, your doctor can't prescribe that unless you do this for. So they've driven up the cost of health care so drastically, someone has to fix it, because it's another long-term. If we stayed under the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, we will bankrupt the nation, giving health care to 300 million people.
Jeez.
It's not functional. It cannot work. You have to go back to what this nation was built on, a free market economy, to where, okay, I work, I can afford health care. When I can't and I wish to assist someone, because Americans are giving people, we've given billions of dollars, trillions of dollars around the planet for other people to survive and to live. Well, now we have to focus our attention on Americans. America first. It's a very quick, easy agenda. Madani, he's a communist, a socialist. Never has worked, never will work. Economically, it never works. It can't. There's a great book. It's a very thick volume. I'm talking about a 2.5-inch book on socialism, written by the economist Ludwig von Mises, the father of Australian economics. What we live under now is not Australian economics. It's a Democrat-designed system that never will allow the people to prosper. The only thing is we're going from a proletariat system that was designed by Obama and all the Democrats before him to back to a Republican form of government where power is restored to the people to make choices about their health care, about their education. What are we doing? We're sending education dollars back to the states. Every single thing that Trump is doing is restoring power back to the states to where it becomes local to the people. When I go and stand in a school board meeting and I'm battling with the school board over wearing masks, over mandated injections, and they tell me that, well, there's nothing we can do about it. It's mandated from the federal government, and we'll have to close our schools if we don't do that. So with what Trump's actions are, to return it back to the states and education dollars back to the states, then Johnny could go and say, hey, wait a while, this is not a great policy for the state of Louisiana, and it's certainly not good for our children. Let's stop it. And then they would have to look me in the eye and tell me why they can't stop it. Now, because they signed away locally all their power to the federal government, to where they got to beg for their little grant dollars and get grants from the Fed. And then once you get a grant, guess what? You just attached your power of the people in your community, in your state, to a bunch of numbnuts sitting in Washington, D.C. that we just witnessed tonight.
Yeah.
Only 6 Democrats voted to reopen the freaking government.
So I want to stop you right there, because this what ties into this comment, that saying that the power of the Senate and the House, and it's not Democrats. The problem is, and Johnson covered this, and John is covering it as well. We had to have 60 votes, right? So we have to have the Democrats vote with us. It's not like all the Republicans can vote on it and it's a done deal, right? I think that's a misconception, isn't it, John?
It is a total misconception, and they totally stood. Every Democrat that went to the mic, and I watched the entire proceeding, every one of them went up there and said it was a Republican shutdown, because you control the House and you control the Senate. Yes, we do have a majority in the Senate, but we don't have a super majority, which means we would have 60 votes. They know that. It's a play. They play the American people as the ignorant son of a guns that are believing that government should be the end-all, know-all for your life and control every aspect of your life. And they say, here is the right. Bullshit. and it always has been. Healthcare is an opportunity that each American has to provide for themselves. And right now, I go to a doctor if I'm in dire need, but I operate on principles of holistic medicine. And trust me, I'm very healthy. My doctor's amazed at how healthy I am. That I don't take blood pressure medicine. That I don't want to take any statins for cholesterol, because my cholesterol is what it is, and it has been for my entire 72 years.
Well, they keep flim-flamming on that too. They'll say coffee's bad, then it's good. This is bad for you. Eggs are bad. Now they're good. And this is the thing, getting back to what you said about the insurance company directing you. You have to go to all these different people. There's no such thing as going to a doctor and him treating you for whatever you have. You have to keep going to see specialists. And each time you do that, you have an office. If you do have insurance, you have the office visit, and then you have to pay. It is so expensive. I was telling LW I needed an MRI. They wanted, and I have insurance, and they still wanted $538 for my MRI. And I'm like, with insurance? And they said, yeah, that's your part of it. And I thought, that is ridiculous. You could go broke in no time trying to find out the cause of certain things that are going on. Thank God mine isn't really serious. But I said, the hell with that. I'm not doing that. There's no way I'm paying that. It gets me so mad, because before, growing up, I had a doctor from the time I was born until he retired. He knew me. He knew everything about me. There was a personability to it. He made a decent living. But now it's like hand over fist. They can't seem to make enough money at all. It's ridiculous. It's like going to each new person, and it's like they send you to another person. It's like test after test after test, but no solution. It's frustrating.
I'm going to share a story with you. About a year and a half ago, 18 months ago, I started running a fever. And I moved with it for 3 or 4 days, just taking ibuprofen and fighting it. And then I go to my doctor. And I've had this doctor, my family doctor, for years and years. She's retired now because she was forced out by COVID. But at any rate, I go to Dr. Kang and say, Doc, this fever's not going away. So she gives me a round of antibiotics, and I've already taken, she went ahead and tested me for COVID. I didn't have COVID, and she couldn't find out. So she orders, because I told her I had a head pain in the top of my head. And she says, well, the only thing we could do then is go ahead and have an MRI done. So she orders that. I go there, and guess what? The insurance company denied that test for me. So, okay, what do I do, Doc? She goes, well, we'll have to. So she said, we need to get you in, because by now I'm 12 days into this temperature and running a high fever. And I'm talking about when it would get 101, I'd take ibuprofen, it would break, and then it would come right back. So then she says, well, we're going to have to get you to see an infectious disease doctor. They have one on staff at the local hospital in Lake Charles. Go there and tell them you want to see them and exactly what's happening. Because they ran, when I went into the emergency room at the hospital in the little small town, they ran blood work and told me they couldn't find anything wrong with me. So I go to the hospital in Lake Charles and I tell them, my doctor sent me here because the hospital in Jennings said there's nothing wrong with me, but I'm still running a high fever every single day. So they do all the little tests, take a chest x-ray, do everything, and they come in and sit down in front of me and tell me they can't find anything wrong with me, that everything is just where it's supposed to be with my blood. I said, well, okay, where's the fever? What do I do? And they said, well, continue to treat it with ibuprofen. I said, well, what about the infectious disease doctor? Well, he can't see you through the emergency room process. You'll have to make it. I'm 40 days into this high fever.
Jeez.
I finally sat in front of an infectious disease doctor, and then he orders tests. And then guess what? This is an infectious disease doctor who's the head of the hospital that I went to. And the insurance company for Medicare refused the test unless he did this test first. Well, by the time they got to the 45th day of me getting permission to get the test, I wasn't running a freaking fever. and they told me it was a fever of an unknown origin. Well, kiss my butt. Yeah, it is. But you know why it's unknown? Because for 45 days while it was happening, you wouldn't allow me to get the test that I needed.
See, that's what I mean. It's just all just a money making. It's so impersonal and it's so aggravating. But I'm gonna let you go because LW needs to go ahead and get off and lay back down and stuff. So and I'm gonna end the show. But I really appreciate you calling and always having good information, John. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, dear. I love you, Tammy, and tell Brother Mike we're all praying for him.
I will. Thank you so much, John.
God bless.
But God bless you too. Okay, you guys, so LW's got to wrap it up for tonight and stuff, and I'm just going to cover a couple little things here with the comments. Thank you, LW, for handling the phone calls, and thank you for joining us tonight. Go rest. You deserve it. You need it. And I want to talk about this. Auto insurance is the same thing, Patriot Girl. That is very true. Auto insurance, it always aggravates me so bad. You know, you could have 20 years of no incidences, and the minute that you have an incident, even if it's not your fault, your car insurance goes up, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I can't stand that. Auto insurance is another big rip-off. You never get ahead of anything. It's unbelievable. It aggravates me. And like John's story with the doctors, you guys, I'm seeing here, like what you guys have said, as far as your doctor appointments. Somebody I had up here, and they had to go to the doctor 8 times for their knees, like 8 times to get their knee figured out. This is like ridiculous. So, and it's, you can say the same thing with the dentist too, because my dentist was telling me, well, there's a life cycle of your tooth, Tammy. It starts with the cavity, and then the next thing you know, you got to have a root canal, and then you have a cap. It's the life process of a tooth. Well, nowadays, after all the things they've discovered, how can they not possibly save a tooth? It's absolutely ridiculous. I just think that there's just so much that is made to make the businesses and the corporations rich and us dirt poor. Something's going to break us eventually. If it's not house repairs, it's vehicles and vehicle repairs, or it's our medical. Medical does not take long. You can have one medical instance and it can break you for the rest of your life. It's not supposed to be that way. Also, this is another Patriot Girl. Yes, a broken taillight, $1,200 cost on the car, and the premium went up. You were livid. How about this with vehicles? You aren't even able to fix your own vehicles anymore. If they go to change a headlight even, they have to take all this stuff out and apart. You can't do it yourself. You are helpless. You are helpless with this stuff. And it's so costly, and it's gotten ridiculous. So yeah, people are fed up in many different ways. I don't think that there's any way anymore, and I hate to say this because I'm an optimistic person, but I don't think there's any way to get ahead in this country anymore. You can work your butt off. You can have 2 people working their butt off. The company ends up firing you. And like I said, we need to switch so much stuff around because too many other people, like John said, in other countries are profiting and making money off of our backs while we suffer. So and John, that was the last comment I was going to have. You took that from my head. I was going to say, starting in New York, this is going to be an example. They want us to be totally dependent on the government. They want us to not question. They want us to go to these grocery stores that are city run so they can control what we eat. Remember, Bill Gates wants us to eat bugs. He thinks that's a lot better than having real meat. They're trying to take out the farmers and on and on. It's every aspect of our lives, even with cars that have the satellite connection or the OnStar. They can shut your car off at any time they want to. Our independence is false. We really have to fight for our independence back in every aspect of our lives. But that's all I have for tonight, you guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Please remember to like, follow, and share this out if you don't mind. We really do appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. Thank you again for joining me tonight. Thank you to LW for running all the stuff that he did and the calls and being here to say hi. And thank you for the call in with John H. I really do appreciate it. So take care. God God bless you guys. Keep your head up, your chin up. We'll see what happens with the government reopening. I don't know that was a good thing or not. We have to wait and see what was in that CR bill. I didn't get all the details of it. But in the meantime, I will talk to you guys real soon. And thanks again for joining us. Take care now.